Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1991 Mazdaspeed AZ-1 A-Spec. The other AZ-1 to take on, of course, the Mazdaspeed AZ-1. And what speed did Mazda add to the AZ-1 with this? None, but they did add a very cool body kit, and it is a very cool body kit. The sort of modified front bumper, you've got the sort of side skirts down the side, and of course you've got the wing. It looks like a mini Ferrari F40. Absolutely fantastic looking vehicle. Unfortunately, it is going to be one of those cars that looks a lot quicker than it actually will be, especially considering the performance of the stock AZ-1 wasn't particularly great, but we'll see how the Mazdaspeed gets along. Mid-engine rear-wheel drive, 180 horsepower, 662 kilograms. It is a key sports car, which means it's not going to be very quick at all. This car is going to have 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Audi TT LM Edition. That car set a time of 26.690. The Mazdaspeed AZ-1 is not going to be beating that. If there was an LM edition of this car, which if someone wants to go ahead and attempt to make one, maybe, but even then I think the wheelbase would be far too short and it's mid-engined, which isn't really ideal. In terms of key sports cars, of course the car this is going to be mainly aiming for is the standard AZ-1 that set the time of a 33.340. So, I mean, my guess around the normal track is there isn't too much sort of time difference between these. I want to say the Mazdaspeed could be lighter, but I might be wrong on that. But either way, I'm sort of expecting the Mazdaspeed to be very slightly quicker on this occasion. In case you're wondering how the AZ-1 sort of does compared to the other key sports cars in the game, well, the AZ-1 is, well, the current AZ-1 on the leaderboard before this one goes around is 0.1 is 1 second slower than the Suzuki Cappuccino, which basically seems to rule the roost, but it is 2 seconds quicker than the Honda Beat, which is quite remarkable. In case you want that sort of gap visualizing, that is the difference between about 1st and 30th on our leaderboard when you compare it to something like the TTLM edition. So yeah, there's quite a remarkable difference between the Beat and the AZ-1. The main reason for that is the Beat makes a lot less power than the AZ-1, so yeah, that's sort of the downfall of this. 33.067, not a terrible lap time actually. That still means it doesn't beat any of the wardrobe key cars. In fact, I think the only key cars it's currently beating with that time is a Daihatsu Mira, a Mitsubishi Minica PJ, and of course the Beats, basically, because the Beats are the slowest thing. Oh, and the Daihatsu Opti Club Sport as well, because we can't forget where we came from. The car that very famously held the lowest spot on the leaderboard for quite a while. Another thing to note with the AZ-1 is because it's mid-engined, and despite it making like no power whatsoever, there is still a fair amount of understeer to contend with in this vehicle. It's not actually that nice to drive, if I'm being perfectly honest. Especially sort of corner cutting, you get thrown off by the bumps, and that seems to be impacting vastly sort of how quick I can be through certain parts of the track. But yeah, it's just a little bit on the understeery side as well, which is not ideal, really. Oh, well, that would have been a cool corner cut, but unfortunately no quicker. But 33.067, I'll take that for the little AZ-1. It's, like I say, it is an improvement on the time that it did set previously. It kind of looks like one of those little handheld vacuum cleaners. Or like, maybe this is where like GM got the idea for the Dust Bunny vans. Weird. But, yeah, that's not a bad time. I think if you sort of kept going round and round and round, you might be able to get it to poke its head into the 32s, but I sort of doubt that. they're just not very quick, and it gets sort of bumped around a little bit. It's not the ideal car for this course, TLDR basically, but still not a bad time. A 33.067 will place this into 440th place. Goes in between the Suzuki Wagon-R Turbo RT-S and the Acura Integra LS. It is quicker than the Silvia Spec R D-Rite, which is basically a stock Silvia. It's quicker than the Plymouth GTX. It's of course quicker than the previous AZ-1. Quicker than the Vauxhall Corsa Sport and the Nissan Cubex. In terms of key cars, it's quicker than the Daihatsu Mira, Suzuki Servo, Minica PJ, All the Beats, Honda Life, one of the Moves, and the Opti Club Sport. So, yeah, and then you're basically at the bottom of the leaderboard. So, not all that impressive in the grand scheme of things, but it is an improvement on what the previous AZ-1 set out. So, I mean, you can't ask for much more speed than that from the mighty Mazdaspeed AZ-1 A-Spec, and it does look very, very cool. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.